Today I'm going to be talking about how to identify someone's a Freemason with 3 simple ways and why this is important as a Christian. But before I talk about this a little bit more in detail, I'm going to go and ask you to incorporate bodybuilding. Because I believe building the body, building the temple of God is truly important on your walk with Jesus Christ of Nazareth. That's why I like to incorporate them both into my YouTube videos. So if you clicked on this video, God is right here to hear this message today. So make sure you guys stick around because I'm going to be delving a bit more into the message after the workout. Feel free to skip ahead in the timestamps below till I put them there for you guys. If not, stick around, enjoy this little workout montage, and I'll see you guys after. So enjoy.
Time to rest, swinging that chopper the best. We can play Russian roulette. The way that I move chess, it's 100 blue rest and no bet. The way that I send over home base, I should play with the Mets. Giving my niggas they own plays, DNA track gon' be lit. Put the fins on side of the whip, with the rims I'm riding legit. With the sack in my pocket to flip, you fuck with my pockets get dipped. Running the street just flex, my gang they having baguettes. Cares around my neck, bad bitches taking X. The checks is nevertheless. We too blessed, never possessed. It ain't no stress. Running the street just flex. My gang they having baguettes. Cares around my neck. Bad bitches taking X. The checks is nevertheless. We too blessed, never possessed. It ain't no stress.
My gang they having finesse. My bitch she got it, she blessed. My mama ain't having no stress. No son ain't taking no less.
Alright, how's it guys? Just finished the workout. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little bit of a montage. We're going to jump right into the topic of the day. It's going to be 3 simple ways to identify if someone is a Freemason. So I've heard for number 1 is going to be they will openly tell you. This is going to be the most common approach you'll come across when trying to identify if someone is a Freemason or not. Most members do tend to keep their status private, even if wearing clothing or jewelry associated with Freemasonry. Take note that not everyone wearing Masonic clothing is a Freemason. I've come across people that, unfortunately, when I was, out and about, that you've come across them, they're wearing merchandise or something like that, like, hey, you a Freemason? Because you kind of know about them, you're curious, you know some things, and they'll just say, hey, yeah, and then they kind of just scatter off. But this is one of the most common ways, and doing some research for this video, I definitely say it's definitely the one simplest sign. I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible because I don't want to go too in detail about it because I don't know everything, but I'm just going to tell you guys the simple things, and I'm going to be telling you at the end why this is important to, keep notice of people that are Freemasons. So make sure you guys stick around for that. But moving on here, number 2 is going to be they use a Masonic handshake. So these things you kind of got to be a little bit more perspicacious and aware of your surroundings. You're very observant. So make sure you guys are paying attention. I'll put up over here the handshakes that I have, a screenshot of it. And Freemasons use specific handshakes, often called grips, as a form of recognition to identify fellow members, particularly within the context of Masonic rituals and ceremonies. These grips are not merely handshakes, but rather a combination of hand positions and gestures that have symbolic meaning and historically served as a way to distinguish Masons from non-Masons. So I believe there's 8 individual handshakes that I put up over here for you guys. So if you want to pause the video and look over those just to get familiar with them and identify them, so you're able to pick up on if someone is a Freemason if they're shaking an individual's hand. So moving on here, number 3 is going to be they attend a Masonic lodge. Freemasons go to lodge for a variety of reasons, primarily for fellowship, self-improvement, and to engage in charitable activities. Masons lodges serve as a meeting place for Freemasons to connect with each other, participate in rituals, and learn about the principles of Freemasonry. I'll put up a picture over here, which is, I have a little one that's kind of funny. It's like a meme, which is Mario in the Masonic lodge and just a regular Masonic lodge going with it. And you have to be aware the symbol they use. So the logo for the Freemasons they use in their lodge and wearing on public, their hats, clothing, or whatever, is going to be the square and the compass. And the letter G can stand for geometry, foundation of stonemasonry, or God, or emphasizing the divine presence in Freemasonry, which I believe some of that little bit of an AI overview is kind of BS right there. But you got to be aware that this symbol they use, that the square and the compass, is basically the Star of David, which isn't the Star of David, it's the Star of Freemason, which is a false god, a star god. So, what does God tell us? Not to worship false gods, and that's one of them. And the star they use for the Israel flag is the Star of Freemason. And a lot of people, if you ask them, hey, where did the Star of David come from? They're not able to tell you where it specifically came from. So that right there tells you that, this Freemasonry stuff, trying to make it as simple as possible, is, part of a, demonic thing, the worshiping false gods that they don't really adhere to, Jesus Christ of Nazareth or God the Father. They adhere to the great architect of the universe, which is also known as the enemy. So you got to be aware of this stuff and gain some wisdom, gain some knowledge, because if you don't, you'll be ending up deceived, because the enemy prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. So if you don't have wisdom, you don't have knowledge, you don't have your sword of the spirit to defend yourself, you're going to get caught up in the lies and the deception, thinking you're joining a group that is going to help you, improve in X, Y, and Z, but you end up selling your soul. So you got to be aware of this. There's a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge that goes into learning about this stuff, and I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. But be open-minded, be optimistic to new things, new ideas, because I am as well, and it's very important that you do this. Keep it open-minded. Don't close off any thoughts, any new ways, new paths that God gives you to walk on, because it's very important. Because if you close off one road, it's not going to lead you to the next one. You're going to get stuck right there and never be able to move on to the next chapter that He's gone and have prepared for you. And wisdom is definitely one of those tools that will help you. I have here for the last one is going to be the very important one.